I will look at a couple of 2, 3 of students' code. We'll share and analyze that code and yeah, see how it goes. Okay. I allowed you to share your screen, Jeshno. No, Jeshno, you can share your screen, not here. You share the screen. Can you share your screen? Is it possible for you? You can first open Visual Code, VS Code. No, open it in a VS Code editor. Good, good. So let's see. Yeah. So nice. So let's try to look at the code of Jaishnav. So first thing is, if you can see, so Jaishnav used an array underscore size macro. The size of the macro is 10. And he based on that, the size of the array, input array, there's an array, the name is input. And so Jaishnav, do one thing. Can you do a right click? Format document. Yeah. So now you can see the spaces are nicely there. So, and then there is a variable size. He uses on line number. So on he calls the read array function to read the input, the list of numbers. And the read array function returns the number of integers, the number of the integers that are being read. One interesting observation I would like you to make is the read array function is placed after the main function, and so whenever you do such a thing, you have to put the function prototype or function signature at the beginning of the file. That's what Jaishnav is doing on line number 4. On line number 4, he is putting a function declaration or a signature. It's not definition. There's a difference between declaration and definition. So Jaishnav, can you permit me to annotate the screen? I think on your, somewhere you will, in your settings, you will have an option to permit me to annotate the screen. Yeah, I have that option. Okay, great, thank you. So here the read array function is defined here. This is definition. This is definition. Whereas this is declaration. You declare the signature. You declare the signature of the read array function. That is, read array takes as input the base address of an array, and it returns an integer as a return value. So that is what is called as a declaration or function prototype. So this is, we call it as declaration, or we call it as function prototype, or we call it as signature, function signature, type signature. So that's what is Jesh now doing. And then he, on line number 15 and 16, he just, so this is the input. This is the input. And here he just confirms, this is the input that you have supplied. And then on line 17, the actual computation is happening, sorting. This is where the computation, the actual computation is happening. And then the sorted numbers are, and then finally this is the output. This is the output. Very well. The write array function, read array function we have already seen. So great. So I'll clear the screen and we'll. Are you all with me so far here? With me and Jeshna? This is all good, right? Yes. Do you see the big structure of the program? Okay. So one thing we can do, Jeshna, so in order to separate out these things, after line number 14, can you press and enter? After line, 1 minute. Yeah, after line number 14, yeah, give one, and then after line number 17, to make after line number 12 also, so that the code becomes, and then after line number 20, after line number 20. Yeah, so now we are good. So now it becomes very clear where you are doing what. So now let's go to the array sort function. So now you can see the array sort function. It takes an array as parameter, base address of an array as parameter, and the size. And I'm not sure if this code is looking all right to me. If a of I is less than a of I minus 1. Okay. So Jaishnav, I'm not quite sure if this is, it could be working, but it's not looking quite like a selection sort program. Just put j is equal to I. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe we will take up someone else's code and try to see. Who else? So we will see a different code just now. Good effort only. I think it may work, but it may not. It's not quite looking like selection sort. So Rishabh wants to share. Okay, let's see Rishabh's code and see what happens. I think in array, you should on line 14 we are seeing only void is there. It should be void. No? Is this working? Okay. So anyway, so let's see enter the value of, you are reading in from line 27 to line 32, you are reading input. Okay, so the user has to enter all the values, otherwise okay, now you go to line 34. If I is greater than equal to print array, if min is equal to, I would like to see a different code actually. Can someone else show, would like to share? It could be right, but I want to see much different and cleaner code so that it's easy, it would be easy for others to understand. Who else wants to share? Who else wants to share? Devesh. Huh? Okay, Devesh, go ahead. Yeah. See, first input here is we should try to have good modularity of the code. Uh, it is not there, but having said that, having said that, still let's. This is a, yeah. So okay, we will take this code and make it. Okay. So overall, I think the logic seems to be all right. So on line number 7, you say printf. Can you give a space? Can you go to end of line 6 and press enter? End of line 6. Yeah, enter. Now go to end of line 9 and press enter. Okay, so you printf enter the number of elements in the array, and so scanf. So now can you remove line 13 to 15? Can you remove those? And why you have I less than 4? It should be I less than length, right? Yeah, I less than length. Great. Remove line number 13. Yeah, good. So you don't need that flower brackets, but let it be there. No problem. It's okay. And then on line number 16, so you say you start with j is equal to 0, j less than length, j plus plus, great, min is equal to a of j, and d is equal to j. If min is greater than a of I, then min is equal to a of I, d is equal, and then finally you're swapping. So anyway, you have your main code from line 16 to line 31. Go down to line 33. Yeah, on line 33, you are printing the output. So just to remind you what, so what is, can you permit me to annotate your screen, Devesh? There will be some option somewhere which should, which allows me to permit to annotate your screen. Are you with me? Let me see if there's any messages. Done, Devesh, or you're not finding that option? If you have done it, then I should get a annotate option on my screen, which I'm not getting. You gave remote control option. That's not what I want. I want a annotate option. Okay. Okay, don't worry about it. Then, yeah. So anyway, so the idea in selection sort uh, is, like you have the array elements a of 0 to, let's say, a of 10, and in the first iteration you find the smallest element, the element a of and then you place it at the you find the index of the smallest element in the first iteration, and then you swap it with the array element a of 0. So on line number 16, if you see, this is what is happening. So we start with the initial estimate that when j is equal to 0, that a of j, that is a of 0, is the minimum element, and we are also keeping track of that position, that d is equal to j, that is the element a of 0 is the min element, that is our initial estimate. And then in the inner for loop, you compare it with the rest of the elements. And whenever you find an element which is smaller than the current estimate, you make it the minimal element and you remember its position. So that is what is happening in the if statement. That is on line number 24. If a of I is smaller than the current min, you make a of I the min, and you also remember its position, that d is equal to I. That's what is being done from line number 22 to 26. So after this inner for loop gets executed, so finally you want to swap the current the min element with a of j. So I think if I don't write, then you will not understand. Then can you stop your share for a moment? Then I will, yeah. Then, so this is what I would like you guys to understand. Uh, so, so this is what Nitin is, not Nitin, our Devesh is trying to do. So this is 0. This is element index at element 1, 2, so on up to n minus 1. So, so what is happening is, initially you think that a of 0 min, a of 0 is the minimum element, and you make d is equal to 0. So what is this 0? He is using j to keep track of this. And then, so in the so this is, and then there is an inner for loop. In the inner for loop, he compares a of j with, no, this element, this element, this element, this element. Let's say at this point there is an element which is smaller than A of j. So when he sees that, like he uses I, he uses I to iterate. These elements, and so when he finds something, so when he hits a case where min is the current estimate of min is greater than A of I. So what he is doing is he says uh, he changes his mind that I have seen a better min, so min is equal to A of I, and he makes D is equal to I. This is his logic. So after he iterates from here to here, he finds the smallest element, and let's say, so you know that the min is always kept track of in the index of the minimal element is always kept track of in the variable d. Let's say at the end of the day, at the end of this iteration, min d points to this. So after this, he essentially swaps a of j. So a of j is equal to 0. He swaps it with a of d. This is the idea. Let's get swapped. And this only helps in swapping the min element, bringing up the min element to here and taking the a of 0 to here. Now you have to iterate again. So when you iterate again the whole thing, then you have to repeat the process with j is equal to 1, because the rest of the array, it starts with the array index j is equal to 1. So again you do the same process. Min is equal to a of j, that is j is equal to 1, and your current estimate of min is equal to no j actually, but j is equal to 1. So you again repeat the same process. This is how the selection sort happens. And this is what his code is looking like. Are you with me on this on this explanation? Are you all with me on this explanation? Yes or no? Now, so I will stop my share, and can you reshare your code? And that is what is happening here. So from line number 16 to line number 31, that's what uh, is happening. So of course, few things that I kind of, you can make this code much more simpler. You can make this code much more simpler. Can you copy this code and paste it into a new file, Devish? We will make this code more simpler. Yeah. So let's do one thing. On line number 19, remove line number 19. Not that one. No, sorry, line number 18. Remove line number 18. So we use min to maintain index. Say min is equal to j. Instead of d is equal to j, write min is equal to j. Yeah. And remove line number 19. Yeah. And then line number 22, we write if a of min is greater than a of I, then you say min is equal to I. And you can remove line number 25. You don't need it anymore. Yeah. So now what I would like you to do is line number 27. After line number 27, you have this, put a statement after line number 27. Enter, press enter there. Write swap. Yeah. Open. Left and right parenthesis. Yeah, you say address of A of j, not a star, address ampersand. A of j, next comma, address of A of min. Min. So do you have the swap and remove line number 29 to 31? Can you format your code? Click left, right click, format document. Yeah. So do you have swap code with you, or you want me to share? Okay. So let's do one thing then. Yeah, don't worry. Code B2. So give remote control to your to me. Give remote control to me. Ah, okay. I can now. What happened? Oh, I cannot copy my. Can share what in chat? This code. Huh? Okay, then otherwise you share the code in chat and then I'll take it from there. Okay. No, I know you can share the code in chat, etc. But so there is what is called as a pair programming, and I wanted to do that pair programming together. So that's the reason I want to do it. But it's okay. If other issues are there, we will. Great. So now what do we do? So we let me share my screen. Format document. That's it. You're able to see my screen? So here, so in this one, so a few things which, yeah, great. So here we should make, yeah, I'll make this into min is equal to j and I is equal to j if min is, if a of min. Of min. Why is it showing? Oh, it should be input. Oh. That's it. So that's it. This is the code for the selection sort. And of course, how many of you understood this code? Does it make sense to you, or where do you stand on this code? The main logic is here from line number 25 to 36. Are you with me here on this one? You are keeping track of the index of the smallest element. That's all. And finally, once you find the smallest element, you swap it with the base element. That's it. So this code is not modular. So the read, sort, and everything is all in the same function mean. So which is not a good idea. So you should write code in a modular fashion. Is there anyone whose code is modular? The whole code is present in one function main. Did anyone write a modular code for this? Yes, no, maybe. Come on, guys. Nitin, did you write you said you want to show your code. Did you write a modular code for this? Okay. Did anyone write recursive code for selection sort? Nandita wrote recursive code for Harshvardhan. Great. So let's do one thing. Let's refactor this code and make it into a modular code. And then after that, I would like to see the code of Nandita and see how it goes. So now I am refactoring this code. So or maybe I will just have this here itself. So what is the first thing? So number one is, I would like to say define max size 100. Okay. So I would like to make this int max underscore size. This is what I would like to have. And then I will have one more variable, size variable. And then there are few other or length. Okay, let's use length. L-E-N-G-T-H. And I'll use all right. So, and then what I would like to do is I would like to have a sort function, void sort. And this sort function, it takes two parameters. Number one, it takes int x, int len gth. This is my sort function. And what I would like to do is, this is the place where actual sorting is happening. I'll take all this code and copy paste here. Okay. So int j is equal to 0. So there is int min. I use one variable. And so I can use, I don't need to, so I would like to start with the rest of the array. So I use instead I is equal to j plus 1. And great. So now my sorting code is nicely, my code for sort is nicely encapsulated in this function, and I have the swap function, and so I would like to actually read and write also sort array A and length length, and I would like to have a read array function void int read array int write array. So I would like to have this whole code for this read array here with me for my document. So printf, enter the number of elements you would like to read, int length, and return Are you all following the code that I'm doing, what I'm trying to do here? Are you all with me? Yes, no? Are you with me here? So before we do, so we want to do what is that read array, and we want to pass A, and so on line number 54, we have a statement to which calls a function read array. And then on line number 56, we sort. And then on line number 58, again, this is not good. Control X. Format document. Yeah. So now it's all looking good. So you print array A length printf sorted list. Parameter numbers can be anything, it doesn't matter. This so write array, print array, we are using X as a parameter name. Are you all with me on the code? So now, so which do you see how the code looks much better now? In your main, you can see the structure of your program that you are reading on line number 58, you are sorting on line number 60, and on line number 62 and 63, you are printing the sorted list. Does this code look better? And you can see now the code for sort is nicely encapsulated in a function. And this function, you can use it in different places. Later on, if you want to use this sort function, you can use it in different places. Shall we compile this code and see if it works or not? Yes, no? Code B2, GCC minus GCC mags, no, select. It should be write array. So we are able to successfully compile the code. enter the number of elements 5. Let me enter 3, 4, minus 1, 2, 0. Yeah, see, it is working. Minus 1, 0, 2, 3, 4. Make sense, guys? Are you happy? Are you happy with this program? Is there anyone who is having problem? 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2. You can see sorted numbers. I'm seeing complete silence in the chat box. Are you with me, lost, or what is happening with you? There are 93 students. Are you all sleeping or what is happening? You're lost. Good, good. So now I want to see someone, no. So Nandita, if you wrote the recursive version of the code, can you share the recursive version of the code with us? On the screen, we will see the recursive version of the code. I will stop my share. You can share your code, Nandita. What do we mean by can we use pointers in arrays? You can have an array of pointers for sure. Sort int a if I for I is equal to 0. What are you trying to do, Nandita? This is not, this doesn't look like selection sort at all. You're keeping track of the mags. Oh, okay, you can a of index, you're swapping mags and you're sorting a n minus 1. Okay. So you're trying to find the mags and you're taking it out. The size of it is reducing. And what is M? M. You can unmute. Can you raise your hand? I'll unmute you so that you can tell me what you're trying to do. What are you trying to do?
Yes, sir. So I'm just finding
You
out the
are
maximum value
finding the mags element.
and making it to move the last value. So again, it goes on by using recursive thing. So I just made the use of m because to make track of the overall length.
Can you go to the beginning? If n is equal to 0,
So here I
n is
just
the
use
size of the array. Okay.
yes, so I've
You
used
are
this to print
printing.
out
And
the
what is m?
to make
M
track of,
is,
to make track of the overall length because when I use when I not
okay.
using this m, I'm not
You are
getting the
taking the
proper
mags and you are
yes.
having, you still pass A of, okay. And you just need to, why are you, what is the purpose of that M? M is the,
I'm just
can you
making
go up again? Can you
yes,
show me the whole, what is the purpose of M? M is, M never changes, right? You're passing the same M all the time.
yes, sir. But
M is
because
the
of
size of the array.
yes, sir.
Okay, okay, got it. Nice, nice. I see. So we will do two things. Nandita did something interesting. Okay, but at the beginning, Nandita, if n is equal to 0, you are trying to print it. That's not a good idea. So I think let's try to, in the next 10 minutes, we will write two versions of the code. So Nandita, can you copy this code and paste it in a different file? Can you unmute yourself, Nandita, so that we can talk as we write the program? Control A, Control A, Control A, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control S, Control S. Okay, let's do one thing. I think in the interest of time, share the code with me. I will show how to fix this. Okay, share the code. Share the code with me. Send it in the chat box or send it so you can. Yeah, I'll stop your share. I'll good. Good job, Anandita. Understood what you're trying to do. I'll show two approaches to solve this problem now in a recursive fashion, and it will be fun to see these both approaches. Are you sharing your code, Anita? You can send it by email also, if it makes it easy for you, or you can put it in the chat box maybe. No, you send it to by email. Send your code by email quickly, or just copy paste the code in the chat box. Harshvardhan when wants to share. Okay, Harshvardhan, you can share. Rahul, I'll also see your code. Let's see. Let's first check Harshvardhan's. Yeah, share your screen. Okay. Great. So, yeah, so this code you can see, yeah, this is again not so modularized, but it's okay. After line number 24, can you put an enter? After line number 24, enter, yeah. And then, so after line number 30, can you put an enter? So what Harsha is doing is till line number, he is entering the length of he's asking for the length of an array, and then he is reading the array from line number 27 to 30. It would have been great if he wrote a function where he reads the array elements, but that is all right. After line number 32, can you press and enter? Yeah, so you can see that so he calls the sort function with len and a as the parameters. And then after the sorting is done, he prints them on line number 34 to 38. So now can you, Harsha, can you right click once? Right click. Yeah, format document is done, right? Okay. So now let's go to the selection sort code function. In the selection sort function, so line 4 to 7 is the base case. That is, if the length of the array is 0, you don't need to sort the array. You don't need to sort the array. That's it. So you just return. So after line 7, can you press and enter? And then what he is trying to do is, he is trying to, in the loop from 10 to 16, he is trying to find the index of the maximum element. So after line 16, can you press and enter? At the end of line, after the loop gets executed, the index high contains the largest variable. So a of high is the largest in the array. And what he is doing is, he is moving that element to the last element of the array. So from line 18 to line 30, it is swap. Can you press and enter at the end of line 20? So if the size of the array is 100, that is, it goes from 0 to 99. So after the first, when we call selection sort for the first time, then function for the first time, he finds the max and moves the max to a of 99 position. And now what he tries to do is, he now tries to apply the selection sort from the elements 0 to 98. So the base address of the array remains the same, but the length of the array decreases by 1. So because of that, he uses len minus 1. That's it. So again, when this is how this code is called recursively, and it works fantastic. It's very good approach. After line number 23, can you give an enter key, please? Yeah, after line number 1, one more enter. Excellent. So good job, Harsha. So, or did you all understand what Harsha is trying to do? How many of you are with me? With me and Harsha on this code? This is very beautifully written code. Otherwa, did you understand, Otherwa, what's going on in this program? This is like very simple, guys. You, in a pack of cards, you find the mags and you keep the mags cards separate, and you try to sort the rest of the cards. You recurse. Are you all happy? Unhappy? Where do you stand? Good. No, so that's there is an iterative version or recursive version. So both are good to, you should know both the approaches. Okay, the previous approach is an iterative approach, but this is a recursive approach. But this is very clean, right? You just have one for loop, but writing this recursive approach is very cool. But let's say I have a challenge problem for you. Okay, so I have two challenge problems for you guys. Okay, I want you to write a version where you try to, recursive version, where you try to find the min, not the max. Are you with me here? There are two challenge problems for you. So Harsha, you can unshare your screen. Thanks a lot. Fantastic work. So I have two challenge problems for you. So the first challenge problem is, so There are three versions of selection sort. Iterative, second is recursive. In the recursive approach, one approach is you try to find the max, and another approach is you try to find the min. So this particular max approach is what Harsha and Nandita tried to do. So this is what they tried to do. But there is a min approach where you try to find the min. So the challenge problem for you is, can you write recursive code uh, can you write recursive code where you take the min approach? Is there anyone who already solved this problem, taking the min approach? Okay, okay, great. Recursive with min approach, excellent. So this is the problem that I would like you to solve. This is number one. Number two is, so in section B1, for section B1, we started with search algorithms. So there is a linear search and there is a binary search algorithms. I would like you to watch in the last 10 minutes of their lecture. Actually, you can watch the whole lecture again also. It's again pretty much the whole thing is the same, but last 10 minutes is on linear search versus binary search. The second challenge problem for you is to write within this binary search problem. There are two challenge problems. So this is challenge problem 1, this is challenge problem 2, this is challenge problem 3. So challenge problem 2 is very simple. That is, you just have to write code for binary search. And challenge problem 1 is to write a recursive version for the min, for selection sort using the min, for selection sort using a min approach. And challenge problem 3 is a slightly theoretical problem, mathematical problem. And if you watch that video, you will understand. So these are the three things I would like you to do today, tomorrow, and then come prepared to the Thursday class. So do you want to, so question for you, do you want to see the min approach now itself? Because some of your friends seems to have done it. You want to see the code from your friends, or you want to give it a shot? What do you want to do? You want to see or you want to take a shot? You'll try? Okay. So you should try that approach. So these are the three problems, and please give a shot using the min approach. And in min approach, it's very simple. So the way we did in the iterative, where we try to find the min and then repeat the same process for the rest of the array, is what I would like you to do. So you have good stuff to think for today and tomorrow. Number one is selection sort min approach, recursive version. Number two is write code for binary search. For that, you have to watch the last 10-15 minutes of section B1's video. Number three, there is an associated mathematical problem that I have posed there. I want you to solve that also. So this is the homework for you for today and tomorrow, and we will catch up again on Thursday. Sounds good? Is it all? Is it all right? Is it a plan?